everybody, let's take a look at Giana Sisters for the Ouya. This is essentially the same game as the DS game, only on HD with far better looking assets. And let's go back to stage 1 here. I've played a few of the levels already and I actually couldn't make any progress beyond 1 and 3 because I got stuck in the environment. So yeah, there's definitely some work that needs to be done on this game. It's not terrible. I actually kind of prefer this version. Even though it has all these issues, it doesn't force you to get all of the little blue diamonds there. If you want to get the retro stages, actually I think it's all the red diamonds to get all the retro stuff. But either way, if you pay the $2 that it costs to get this full game, you, I believe, get access to all that stuff without having to do all that crap in the DS game. So it's a better overall value, as long as they wind up fixing the problems with it. Right now, it definitely needs some work. It's not terrible. The D-pad is unfortunately a real killer for a platformer. It's very difficult to go exactly where you want to go when you want to go there. And that's something that's outside the control or outside the hands of the game developers. That is simply the nature of the beast with this controller. The D-pad is easily its worst feature. And hopefully that gets fixed. They fixed the issues that people had with buttons were getting stuck in the controller, which is obviously a good thing to fix. You'd want to kind of make sure that wasn't an issue beforehand, ideally, but they weren't able to do that, so they fixed it up later. Like here you can see I'm just trying to make simple movements, and okay, that for one thing needs to be fixed too, where you go one step forward and it just kind of glitches out. Just a tad strange. And let's see if I can actually get through stage 1-3 for the first time ever. I kind of doubt that will happen, but it would be nice if it did. Yeah, this is a very good game on the DS, and actually in playing the DS emulator on here, ironically, that game runs terribly. Actually, every game on that DS emulator runs terribly, and has a very annoying border graphic that makes a lot of sense for a phone, but doesn't make any sense when it's on a TV screen. And you're obviously not using the touch screen controls that they're showing on the overlay. Yeah, that emulator is terrible, and I would recommend, if you do get the Ouya, to not get it for the emulators. I know it's very tempting to do that, but they're just not good enough to where it's really worth spending $100 for an emulator box when it's just not a very good one. And the NES one's fine, but you can't rewind the controls. Super Nintendo one actually works the best overall, with a pretty, actually I shouldn't say the one, there are two of them. There's SNES 9 and Super GNES. And GNES is really good. SNES 9 is okay. It's a little bare bones, and I haven't found anything that really works better on any one emulator versus the other. So I would say go with the one that has a better interface, and that would be Super GNES, which isn't quite as nice as the NES one, Ouya, which is an excellent looking emulator and has honestly the best interface of any emulator I've ever used. This is very clean. It has a little indie store that you'll eventually be able to use to buy games. Right now it's just demos, but honestly, the demo for Battle Kid is such that if you can actually beat that demo, you would buy it, I think, without any hesitation. But if you can't beat the demo, you're not going to want to buy the full game. It just doesn't make practical sense. And that demo is very hard. So is the second. So I think that's kind of one area where it might hurt some games having that indie store there. This game is pretty good. That didn't quite go as I planned. Yeah, this, now that it's not glitching out on me, is far more fun. I wish I could blame the other control, but I clearly just took the jump a little early. Go as far right as I can. There we go. Do it again. Alright. That went far better. hoping to get the fireball, or not the fireball, the kind of fireball, the equivalent of in this game, which in the modern levels is far less of a Mario ripoff than the retro levels are. Where if you watch that video, you'll see it's just basically a Mario 1 clone, or Super Mario Bros. 1, I should say, not Mario Brothers. Very blatantly a clone of it. It amazed me that those levels were actually on the DS game at all, just because it's a Nintendo system, and you wouldn't quite expect to see Nintendo allowing stuff like that on the hardware, but or on their hardware. But yeah, at the same time, it is different to some degree. Not too much of a degree, but to some degree. There we go. And this actually uses the Super Mario Bros. NES control scheme, so you can't, like, if you've gotten used to platformers now, and I know I have with the Mega Man sets, where your bottom button is your jump, and the one right above it to the left is what you use as your action button. And that works, I think, a lot better. It's a lot more comfortable. And this setup works, but it's not as comfortable. Still pretty good, though. I mean, it controls nicely. The D-pad, it's usable. It's just not quite what you want it to be. It's not as comfortable. The 360 pad may not be as good in a game, but it's a lot more comfortable. And the PS3 pad is okay, but it's just not ideal. It works, but it's still not top of the line. And this is honestly the worst one of any. I'm going to call it a first party pad, because that's realistically what it is. You folks are making it themselves. And it's the worst first party pad I have ever used for a D-pad, I should say. The GameCube one may be the least comfortable because it's just so small. But at least that one, it was just a GBA pad. And it was at least well made. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and get up there. It's probably a red diamond. But it's hard to make those kinds of jumps with this D-pad. And I'll actually see if the analog stick works to control you. I'm going to bet it doesn't because it doesn't work on the menus. But let's see. Nope, the analog stick does not work. Fireball works pretty well, though. That's really cool. The red diamond, probably a power-up. Oh, that's a little odd. Go all that way for a red diamond, and then they don't even give you a power-up. It's just here's a blue diamond that you can get a billion of in the extra stages. Fireball doesn't kill those things. Maybe they're metal sharks. They're just impervious to flame. In which case I need to find... Well, I mean, it would be nice if there was an ice weapon you could use, and then you would freeze them. But of course, this does not have that. This is just a DS game with far better graphics in every way. Like, this is way better looking than a DS game, and that's not a bad looking game. It just doesn't look as good as this. That looks pretty good for the DS. Whereas this looks far better. Everything looks cleaner. And it would be really fine if they put this on Xbox Live Arcade. I mean, they've got the newer... They've got Twisted Dreams on there. And this is kind of like that. You know, as far as being a game that would really be perfect for a download service, it would need a lot more polish. And maybe they should try it out on Steam before they went for a release on Xbox Live Arcade or PSN. But I would be all for that. I think that this is a good enough game where if they did some polishing with it, it would work a lot better. And then you would have a game that might be worth the money. I don't think they're going to release it for $2 like on here, where they're trying to take advantage. It sounds terrible. They're trying to make use of the system, making everything free to play to some degree, and really enticing me to buy the full game. I mean, for $2, even with the issues I had with it before, I'm tempted to buy it at $2. And there's a lot of stuff there. You know, save data would carry over. Caveat to that is, I just hate this D-pad for this game. Trying to make precise jumps, like right here, I'm at the far end, and I'm able to make it. That's with me being super meticulous. That's what I am. And that's not very fun to have to be that meticulous with the positioning. But now I have beaten the castle stage. And let's see, does it take us to... It's actually going to let us do a boss level. Okay, well, let's give this a shot then. And we'll try to close out World 1. There's actually a level 1 pack available for $1, which I assume just gives you access to all the level 1s. I don't really know. It's a weird thing. When the full game's literally only $2, so I'm not sure why they made a separate pricing structure. It's only $1, and you're getting, in theory, unless level 1 pack gives you level 1 to every stage in the game. In which case, it'd be good if you're like not good at platformers and you don't want to be too challenged or frustrated. Then I guess that would be a way around that. And hey, why not? That actually didn't take too long at all. Let's see where this takes us. That is... Okay, just going to start us over from there, and it locks off the final level. Well, that sounds like a good stopping point then.